They're the biggest names in the industry and have come to define gaming as we know it.
Touchdown, Ravens!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 video game franchises. In order to qualify for this list, a franchise needs to have at least 5 entries associated with it and have started at least at the 6th gaming generation or earlier. We're ranking the entries based on a combination of their impact in the industry, how many copies they sold, and the overall quality.
I don't know about you, but I usually like a little more intel with my intel.
We'll make it work.
And just to quickly address the elephant in the room, a while back we did include some of these entries on our overrated list, so there's that. But you can argue that all day long, it doesn't change what they've achieved.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we are searching for the helicopter of our compatriots, Bravo Team.
Number 10.
Resident Evil.
We're starting things off with a franchise that popularized survival horror. With 60 million copies sold, Resident Evil not only was able to spawn a financially successful film series, but was also able to reinvent itself in Resident Evil 4. It almost didn't make the list thanks to the disastrous Resident Evil 6, but there was some redemption with Revelations. Plus, there's always hope for the future.
There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten.
Number 9. Sim. Will Wright is pretty much the godfather of PC simulation games. First starting off with Sim City, the series spawned a whole load of spin-off games, ranging from Sim Tower, Sim Ant, and Sim Farm. But it was the casual life sim, The Sims, that became a phenomenon, with the second game in particular being the best-selling PC game to date. The 2013 entry Sim City may have bombed, but the legacy of 175 million sold is still hard to argue. Number 8. EA Sports.
To Allen, the Montreal Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup, and the cup is back where it's been so many times before.
The brand with a firm grip on almost all major sports league licenses makes the list thanks to 2 names that have sold over 100 million copies each. In the USA, the Madden series NFL keeps football players coming back, while FIFA is uncontested in Europe and South America. Plus, with the addition of NBA Live and NHL, name the sport and it's in the game.
Quick shot, scores!
Number 7. Halo. Though this franchise put the Xbox on the gaming map, believe it or not, it was originally unveiled by Steve Jobs as a real-time strategy for Mac OS. But after Bungie was acquired by Microsoft, it became the juggernaut that it is now, with the second game in particular cementing online multiplayer to consoles. It's the least selling entry on the list at around 50 million copies sold. But if it weren't for Halo, there'd be no Xbox today.
Halo. It's finished.
No. I think we're just getting started.
Number 6. Final Fantasy. The title, designed for NES, was intended to be the studio's last game after a string of failures prior, hence the ironic name. But its success led to many sequels to follow, with its 7th entry on the PS1 being the franchise's high point. It also spawned a few spin-off franchises, from the Mana series to the Disney crossover Kingdom Hearts.
Are you okay?
It did hit hard times last generation with the 13th and 14th entries, but the 102 million sales are hard to argue with. Number 5. The Legend of Zelda. It brought the ability to save your game to consoles, but it didn't stop there. Even though it carved itself out a neat little subgenre, pretty much all of its titles are considered royalty and among the best games on their respective consoles. Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, name the Nintendo console and there's probably a must-have Zelda game to go with it. The series has sold a relatively modest 68 million copies, but the overall quality gets it this high on the list. Number 4. Call of Duty. Believe it or not, this franchise was originally codenamed Medal of Honor Killer, and safe to say, it did what it was intended to do. With the first 3 games set in the trenches of World War II, the 4th game not only revolutionized the modern warfare genre, but also dramatically shifted the focus of the industry as a whole. It's currently the franchise to beat, with its sales at just over 120 million. Some may be a little bit tired of its yearly releases, but it was the defining franchise in the 7th generation. Number 3, Pokemon.
What'll it do? There, it's a hit!
It's the series that single-handedly revived the Game Boy in the 90s.
Hey, little buddy, want to ride?
Yeah, whatever!
And started a cultural phenomenon, and shows no signs of slowing down, with a whopping 245 million copies sold and over 60 games in the series. It's also spawned a cartoon series that has lasted over 800 episodes and still going.
Come on, let's go win a badge!
And it's now an esport thanks to the officially run Pokemon Championship League. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto.
Passenger, show us your hand. Now down on your stomach. There you go.
The open world franchise that is a magnet for controversy with each release, GTA didn't invent the sandbox, but it made it a genre of its own, with an urban setting in which you can release your frustrations.
There's a lot more where that came from, Holmes.
With GTA 3 setting new standards for the genre, and each title onward being a bestseller, Grand Theft Auto is the fastest growing franchise at 185 million sold, with 32 million of those copies coming from GTA 5 alone. Before we get to the top spot, let's have a look at some honorable mentions. We've loosened our guidelines here, but they still need to have sold well.
You challenge me, mortal? A god of Olympus?
Huh?
Number 1, Mario. He revived the video game industry in the 80s. He revolutionized 3D platforming, and almost all of his platforming adventures are considered timeless classics. And yet, that's only the tip of the iceberg of what this Italian mustachioed plumber has achieved, as he spawned 4 sports series, 2 RPG series, a party minigame franchise, 2 puzzle franchises, and a kart racing franchise to top off his empire of 486 million copies sold. No other name in gaming even comes close to the impact or success of the man in red and blue overalls. Do you agree with our list? Which franchise are you going to defend to the death in the comment section? For more colossal top 10s published daily, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
You have disrespected the gods for the last time, Kratos.